We wake up in temperature-controlled rooms, pull food from refrigerators, and lock our doors at night. Because we are surrounded by security and engineered comfort, we naturally assume this is the default state of human existence. This timeline maps 6 million years of human history. That tiny sliver on the far right edge represents our modern era. Your current lifestyle accounts for less than 0.001% of our existence. For the remaining 99.99%, life was a completely different, terrifying struggle. Jumping back 200,000 years to when modern humans first appeared, we shared the planet with at least 6 other distinct human species. Homo erectus, for example, survived for 2 million years, 10 times longer than we have existed. Yet by about 10,000 years ago, all of our cousins vanished. We still don't know exactly why. Whether they lost the competition for resources or died out through conflict, they disappeared, leaving only us to figure out how to survive. For nearly 2 million years, early humans chipped stones into basic tools, but progress was practically non-existent. Any new survival tactic or instinct had to be passed down largely through genetics, which is an incredibly slow, inefficient way to share information. The first real acceleration happened when humans learned to control fire. Beyond providing warmth and safety, fire enabled the act of cooking. Heating food breaks it down, making its calories and nutrients much easier for the body to absorb. This steady supply of dense, pre-roasted nutrition directly fueled the development of a larger, much more complex brain over generations. But even with larger brains and campfires, human life remained stagnant. Every individual was entirely consumed by reacting to their environment and trying not to starve. We were still highly intelligent animals, bottlenecked by biology. Around 70,000 years ago, a likely genetic mutation gave our brains the capacity for complex language and abstract thought. We relied on the unique ability to communicate complex information down to the last detail. This let us coordinate flexibly in large groups and outplan any other creature on the savanna. To survive this way, every single ancient hunter-gatherer needed a vast mental map of their territory, deep knowledge of plant and animal behavior, and years of physical conditioning. As an individual, an early human likely had superior memory and finer motor skills than the average person alive today. This created a paradox. Our ancestors were brilliant, physically elite survival specialists, yet their collective progress flatlined. Every ounce of their physical and cognitive energy was spent just making it to the next morning. Around 12,000 years ago, in multiple distinct locations across the globe, humans learned how to plant seeds. Farming provided a reliable, predictable yield. For the first time in millions of years, humans could harvest and stockpile calories on a massive scale, hoarding grains in silos, something you simply cannot do with hunted meat. Because the group had a massive surplus of food, survival decoupled from the individual. Someone could spend their entire adult life doing nothing but breeding more resistant crops or making better plows, knowing the farmers would feed them. Protecting these massive, immobile food stocks required serious organization. Communities clustered tightly together and built defensive structures. These dense, highly organized settlements quickly evolved into the first cities. Agriculture shifted the heavy lifting of survival from the isolated individual to the collective network. With basic survival guaranteed by the group, humanity finally began to compound its knowledge. Once knowledge could be stored, taught, and improved upon across generations, development multiplied. Villages expanded into cities, cities consolidated into kingdoms, and kingdoms linked together into massive empires. This graph charts human technological progress over time. Notice the long, flat baseline. What we consider civilization only started about 50 generations ago, right where the line shoots upward. Just 20 generations ago, we learned how to systematically observe and test reality, applying mathematics and physics to completely rewrite our understanding of the universe. Soon after, we stopped relying on muscle. We built complex, steam-driven machines to do our physical labor, multiplying our efficiency and laying the mechanical foundation for the modern world. Then, we built machines to handle cognitive labor. These massive early computers gave us an entirely new, artificial way to process and store immense quantities of data. A single generation ago, we wired those machines together, making the entirety of human knowledge instantly accessible to a desktop screen. The exact same animal that used to scavenge the savanna eventually figured out how to strap itself into a metal box, fly into the vacuum of space, and walk on our moon. Yet, if you look closely at the architects of this hyper-engineered world, nothing has biologically changed. If you traveled back 70,000 years and brought a baby to the present day, they would grow up completely indistinguishable from anyone else. We are operating a massive, rapidly expanding skyscraper of technology and culture, but the people at the controls are running on 70,000-year-old hardware. Because this acceleration happened so incredibly fast, we have no real way of knowing how stable the structure actually is. We could be resting on a solid bedrock of permanent progress, or we might be building on quicksand. Knowing the millions of years of brutal survival required to build this fragile, hyper-modern anomaly should reframe our reality. We are the only human species left of the original 7 to see it. The next time you face a trivial modern annoyance, remember the immense evolutionary luck that bought you the luxury of being annoyed.